How does a simple navigation mistake turn into a tragic demise? Picture this: a small town near the Vermont border, a quiet Saturday night in April, and a group of friends looking for a house. Among them, Kaylin Gillis, a vivacious 20-year-old, unaware that she was on the precipice of her end. An innocent error in navigation, an unfamiliar driveway, and the friends found themselves outside a house that wasn't their destination. This house belonged to Kevin Monahan. As the vehicles pulled into his driveway, Monahan's world was disrupted. His reaction was swift and tragically lethal. Armed with a shotgun, he stepped onto his porch, the night air thick with palpable tension. The porch light cast long, ominous shadows as he raised his weapon. Two deafening blasts echoed into the night, the sound tearing through the tranquility of the small town. The first shot missed, but the second found its mark. The fatal shot pierced through the night and struck Kaylin. Seated in the front passenger seat of an SUV, her boyfriend at the wheel, Kaylin was hit in the neck. A simple misstep in navigation, a violent reaction, and a young life was extinguished in an instant. The echoes of the shotgun blasts dwindled, only to be replaced by the screams of her friends and the wailing sirens of the first responders. The small town near the Vermont border was shaken to its core, its peace shattered by the tragic events of that night. As the news spread, the community grappled with the horrifying reality. A fatal encounter had unfolded in their midst. A life was tragically cut short, and a senseless act of violence had left an indelible mark on their quiet town. In the wake of the tragedy, a trial was inevitable. The details of that fateful night would be meticulously dissected in the courtroom, and the quest for justice would begin. A simple error, a fatal encounter, and a life tragically cut short. As we dive deeper into this tragic case, we'll unravel the complexities of justice and the profound impact of a single irreversible act. As the courtroom fills, the quest for justice begins. The atmosphere is thick with anticipation as the trial kicks off, a momentous event in this small town near the Vermont border. At the center of it all, Kevin Monahan, the man accused of the senseless killing of 20-year-old Kaylin Gillis. The defense's strategy hinges on a controversial argument. The shooting was unintentional, a tragic accident caused by a faulty firearm. Lead defense attorney Art Frost steps up, his voice echoing through the silent courtroom as he lays out their case. Monahan's gun will fire even when no one pulls the trigger, he asserts, a claim that will reverberate throughout the trial, shaping the narrative on both sides. This statement sends a ripple of murmurs through the courtroom. Could it be possible? Could a simple mechanical failure have led to such a devastating tragedy? The defense's argument is a daring one, challenging the prosecution to prove intent in an act that on its face appears so random, so unplanned. But the prosecution is ready for this. They've heard the defense's claim and they're prepared to counter it. They know that their task is not an easy one. They must prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the shooting was not an accident, but a deliberate act of violence. The defense's argument about the faulty firearm is a critical point in the trial. It's a claim that, if proven true, could cast doubt on Monahan's guilt, potentially shifting the balance of the trial in his favor. But if proven false, it could seal his fate, solidifying his role as the perpetrator of this horrifying crime. This is the crux of the trial, the point on which everything else hinges. It's a question that will dominate the proceedings, a question that will keep everyone on the edge of their seats, a question that will be at the heart of every argument, every piece of evidence, every testimony. Did the gun fire itself, or was there a more sinister intent? Accusations fly and tempers flare as the trial takes a dramatic turn. The proceedings, already thick with tension, are about to boil over. The defense attorney, a seasoned lawyer named Kurt Mausert, takes center stage. He's been with the case since the beginning, a stalwart figure in the sea of legal chaos. Now he's about to throw a wrench into the works. Mausert files a motion for a mistrial. Yes, you heard it right, a mistrial. The basis of the motion? Prejudice against his client, Kevin Monahan, the man accused of Kaylin Gillis's untimely death. The allegations don't stop there. Mausert claims there has been coaching during the trial and pre-trial hearings. He insists that the prosecution has been leading witnesses, shaping their testimonies to fit their narrative. Furthermore, Mausert argues that his team's ability to cross-examine has been restricted, limiting their opportunity to present a full defense. He believes that the scales of justice have been tipped unfairly in favor of the prosecution. The courtroom hangs in suspense, waiting for the judge's response. Judge Adam Michelini, a man known for his firm but fair approach, rejects the motion. He sees no merit in the claims of prejudice and coaching. He believes that the defense has been given ample opportunity to cross-examine the witnesses. His gavel falls, echoing in the silent courtroom, but Mausert is not ready to back down. A heated exchange ensues. Mausert passionately defends his claims, while Judge Michelini maintains his decision. The tension in the room is palpable, a tangible force that mirrors the gravity of the case at hand. The conflict underscores the complexities of the trial, the high stakes for both the defendant and the victim's family, and the difficult task of seeking impartiality in a case so steeped in emotion. Justice may be blind, but it is not deaf to the cries of prejudice. As we delve deeper into the trial, the question remains, are these cries valid concerns or simply the desperate attempts of a defense team fighting an uphill battle? Only time will reveal the answer as we continue to unravel the tragic case of Kaylin Gillis. Amidst the palpable tension, the verdict rings out. The courtroom, a cauldron of pent-up emotion, falls into a hush as the jury foreperson rises. The words "guilty of second-degree murder" echo through the room. A gasp ripples through the spectators, a wave of shock and relief. Kevin Monahan, once a man of quiet obscurity, now a convicted murderer, visibly wilts, the weight of his fate pressing down on him. In the gallery, Kaylin's parents clutch each other tightly, their faces a mix of grief and relief. Their daughter's young life, so abruptly stolen away, cannot be returned, yet there's solace in knowing her killer will not walk free. Meanwhile, defense attorney Art Frost looks on, his face a mask of stoic acceptance. He had fought hard, playing every card in his deck, but the jury had seen through the smokescreen of a faulty firearm. The narrative of an unintentional shooting, a freak accident, had fallen short. The courtroom proceedings pause for a moment, the air heavy with the enormity of the verdict. Then District Attorney Tony Jordan rises to his feet. His voice, steady and resolute, breaks the silence. He speaks of healing, of justice, a sense of closure for Kaylin's family and friends. He acknowledges the pain, the loss, but emphasizes the importance of moving forward. Justice, he says, is not just about punishment. It's about acknowledging the harm done and making amends. It's about healing the wounds and rebuilding the trust that was shattered on that fateful night. His words resonate through the room, a beacon of hope amid the dark sea of despair. Yet, as he concludes, a question hangs in the air, unasked but ever present. Can there truly be healing when the scars of this tragedy run so deep? As the courtroom empties, the echo of the verdict lingers. A community, forever marked by a senseless act of violence, begins its long journey towards healing. The road ahead is fraught with pain and heartache, but there is hope, a faint glimmer in the darkness. A guilty verdict, a sigh of relief. But can there ever be true healing? When the courtroom empties, the echoes of the trial linger. As the dust settles on the harrowing trial of Kevin Monahan, the community is left grappling with the reality of what transpired. The quiet town near the Vermont border, once known for its tranquility, is now forever marked by the tragic loss of Kaylin Gillis. In the aftermath, the profound impact on Kaylin's family is heart-wrenchingly evident. Their bright, vivacious 20-year-old, lost to a senseless act of violence, leaves a void that can never be filled. The home, once filled with her laughter, now echoes with a silence that is as profound as it is painful. Their journey towards healing is long, the road ahead fraught with memories and reminders of their beloved Kaylin. The defendant, Kevin Monahan, faces his own aftermath. His life, once ordinary and unremarkable, is now defined by a single irreversible act. The echoes of the fatal shot continue to reverberate not only in his life but in the lives of his family, forever tainted by his actions. And the community as a whole is left to navigate the aftermath of a tragedy that has shaken them to their core. The sense of safety and security that once defined this small town has been shattered, replaced by a cautionary tale of the devastating consequences of a fatal encounter. The once familiar faces are now marked by a shared grief, a collective mourning for a life cut tragically short. The road ahead is a long one. The echoes of the trial, the memories of Kaylin, and the haunting reality of that fateful night will continue to linger. But in this shared grief, there is a shared resolve to remember Kaylin, to seek justice, and to reclaim the sense of community that was so abruptly disrupted. In the wake of tragedy, a community seeks solace, a family seeks closure, and a town is forever changed.